Welcome to Dr. Mary Travel Best's Independent Travel Guide, an episode for women like you who need a little extra support traveling the world, one woman at a time. This podcast is sponsored by Sun Marketing, doing advertising and marketing in San Diego since 1993. And I've been traveling independently since 1992, and soon I will release a second guidebook on the independent travel steps. Please share this podcast with your parents, loved ones, and future travelers so you can make their trips the very best, like Travel Best. In this episode, the FAQ is, how long should my vacation be? The destination, Jackson, Mississippi. Today's mistake, oversleeping. And the travel advice, bring half of what you think you need. So the FAQ, how long should my vacation be, you asked? I've been planning to take a trip to see my family and combine with some sightseeings. Can you suggest a good length? So here's the answer. The response will vary depending on which level in the independent travel steps you are currently at. The lower the number, the shorter the trip. If you are a level 3, which is a little more adventurous, you would possibly travel for a week or several weeks. The longest I have traveled is a month. Many people go for longer trips than that. If you have the time, the money, and the desire, well, why not travel longer? And now for today's destination, Jackson, Mississippi. I was in Memphis, Tennessee, and decided to venture to Jackson, Mississippi. It was my first time in the state, and Old Miss, I was told, would be a delight, and it was. It was summer and hot and humid. As you know, the South has some long summer days. I enjoyed my experience in the area, which was suburban and had a downtown square, delightful. Let me tell you about it. One of my favorite places is the bookstore on the square. Favorite Mississippi authors like Faulkner were featured here. The city is named for Andrew Jackson, the 7th U.S. president. So at Old Miss, you've got an academic environment. I walked the campus in the early evening. I found the famous football stadium easily. 2 days in Jackson was plenty to soak in the atmosphere. Give yourself a chance to learn about the culture, food, and environment. Not only is it the state capital, it's got the statewide Mississippi Freedom Trail running right through the city with many historic sites that were significant in the civil rights movement. You've got the Medgar Evers Home Museum and the Mississippi State Capitol Building. And then in leafy LaFleur's Bluff State Park, the Mississippi Museum of Natural Science includes an aquarium and nature trails. So now for today's mistake, oversleeping. I've overslept when I had an early morning airline flight. It's easy to do because you tend to stay up late, not sleep well, and feel restless the day before a big trip by plane. Don't do what I did. Set several alarms so you don't oversleep. Be self-reliant about your trip. When you're solo, you don't have a backup person. It's all up to you. And now for today's travel advice. Bring half of what you think you need. Overpacking is a common trait for travelers. When you see what you've packed, try to remove half of it and fill it with things you want to give away on your trip. That's because you want to share what you have and you want room for souvenirs on the return trip. Packing light is more sustainable, makes you nimble, and allows for fewer things to be left behind. Keep life simple and travel with less. Today, I want to bring meaning to your travel, so send me your travel tip. You can send it to my website, my Facebook page, my group, Instagram. You can send it to Twitter, my blog, or maybe you'll even see your tips in my next book, Dr. Travel Best's Independent Travel Steps.
What's on your travel bucket list? Tell the doctor and her team of women who travel the world seeking the very best. Dr. Travel Best, that is.